This is the EntreArchitect Podcast, where you get an inside look at licensure, regulation, and the initiatives shaping the future of architectural practice. I'm your host, Andy McIntyre, Vice President of Marketing and Communications at EntreArchitect. And this season, we're diving into Pathways to Practice, EntreArchitect's multi-year effort to rethink how architects become licensed.
Architecture is the hardware to the software of life, right? It is fundamentally about that interaction, and it makes life easier if we have a built environment that works.
Across 8 episodes, we'll explore how licensure got to where it is today and where it needs to go next. We talk with architects, educators, regulators, and EntreArchitect leaders about education, experience, and the exam, and why each of those pillars is evolving.
And that portion of school where you go from conceptual to real is also really challenging. It's not something you're really gently moved into. It's kind of like you're doing something that's flowy and crazy, and all of a sudden, wait, you actually have to make this work.
You'll hear how the EntreArchitect competency standard was developed, how research is shaping future licensure models, and what a more flexible, competency-based approach could mean for candidates from a wide range of backgrounds.
So we've seen that in our data as the number of reciprocal licenses starts to decrease a little bit, but that number of individuals who are licensed holds steady.
We also tackle the big questions. Why does licensure look the way it does today? Where do candidates face the biggest barriers? And how can we expand access without lowering standards?
Not everybody fits into the same mold. And so having different pathways to licensure, I think is really important.
Whether you're a licensure candidate, an educator, a firm leader, or a regulator, this season offers clarity, context, and transparency into one of the most important conversations facing the profession.
Does this requirement to complete all divisions of the exam place an unfair burden on any one group or other?
This is Pathways to Practice, only on the EntreArchitect Podcast. Please follow the link in the show notes, subscribe now, and join us as we explore the future of architectural licensure.
My name is Mark LePage, and you are listening to EntreArchitect Podcast, where each week I speak with inspiring, passionate people who share their knowledge and expertise, all to help you build a better business as a small firm entrepreneur architect. Hey, it's Mark LePage, and welcome back to another solo session here at the EntreArchitect Podcast. Last week, I brought back solo sessions after taking a break from them for several months. We talked about mastermind groups and what I called the room that changes everything. Go back to that episode and listen to it if you haven't. Today, I want to build on that idea. As this episode is being published, I've just wrapped up the EntreArchitect experience at Taliesin in Spring Green, Wisconsin. A group of us spent several days together exploring one of the most influential places in American architecture. We walked through Frank Lloyd Wright's home and studio. We shared meals. We listened to James Polk and the Mississippi Stoyers live in the Hillside Theater. You should have heard it. We hung out in Spring Green, shared stories, and spent time together learning, thinking, and reflecting. And now, as this episode goes live, I'm in San Diego on the other side of the country for the AIA conference to spend time with thousands of architects from around the country. And both experiences reminded me of something I've learned over and over again throughout my career. The most important growth in your business often happens when you get out of your office. The title of this episode is Get Out of the Room. Let's jump in. Now, before you get upset, let me explain. Your studio is important. Your office is where the work happens. It's where projects move forward. It's where clients are served. It's where you create value and be creative. But your studio can also become a trap, not intentionally. It's simply the nature of being in the same environment every day, day after day. You begin seeing the same problems. You have the same conversations. You work with the same people. You operate in the same assumptions. And over time, those assumptions begin to feel like facts. You start believing that the way you're doing things is the way things must be done. You stop questioning. You stop exploring. You stop imagining. Not because you're incapable, because you're comfortable. And comfort is often the enemy of growth. The longer we stay in the same room, the harder it becomes to see beyond its walls. One of the reasons I've always believed so strongly in community is because I've experienced what happens when architects come together. I saw it at TCAM 22, the EntreArchitect Community Annual Meeting, our business conference for small firms in Austin, Texas. I saw it again in Nashville at TCAM 24. And I've seen it over and over and over again at EntreArchitect events, mastermind meetings, and gatherings across the country. I saw it at Taliesin, and I'm seeing it here in San Diego. And here's the interesting thing. The magic rarely happens during the presentations. The value isn't always on the stage. The transformation often happens in the hallways. It happens over breakfast. It happens during a walk. It happens sitting at a bar after dinner. It happens when one architect turns to the other and says, "Wait a minute, you do it that way?" That's the moment. That's when assumptions get challenged. That's when new ideas emerge. That's when possibilities expand. Because suddenly you realize there are other ways to run a firm, other ways to serve clients, other ways to price your services, other ways to build a life. And that realization can change everything. Perspective is one of the most valuable assets an entrepreneur can possess. The problem is that perspective is difficult to create by yourself. Think about it. Perspective comes from exposure. Exposure to different people, different experiences, different ideas, different environments. When I walked through Taliesin with our members, I wasn't just looking at architecture, I was looking at a different way of thinking, a different way of living, a different way of creating. Frank Lloyd Wright built Taliesin as more than a home, more than a studio. It was more than a school. It was an environment intentionally designed to bring people together around art, architecture, music, and creative problem solving, around ideas. That's a powerful lesson because growth is rarely an individual activity. Growth is usually a community activity. And as I mentioned last week, the people around us influence what we believe is possible. And sometimes all it takes is one conversation to completely change our trajectory. Let's take a quick break to say thank you to our sponsors for their support of this episode. One of my favorite parts of every AIA conference is reconnecting with people I've only seen online, heard on podcasts, or met through the EntreArchitect community. And every year, there seems to be one place where those conversations happen naturally. For me, that's the ARCAT booth. If you're heading to AIA 26 in San Diego, you'll find ARCAT on the expo floor June 11th and 12th at booth 3415. Just look for the big red A. That's usually my home base during this conference. Between sessions and meetings, I always seem to find myself back at the ARCAT booth, catching up with friends, meeting podcast listeners, and making new connections. This year, you'll also find Charisse Lakeside recording live episodes of Detailed, ARCAT's own top-rated podcast, right from the booth, bringing great conversations from the show floor directly to her listeners. So if you're coming to San Diego, stop by booth 3415, grab some ARCAT swag. They always have the best swag. Say hello to the team, and if you see me there, please introduce yourself. Look for us under the big red A. See you in San Diego. This episode of EntreArchitect Podcast is supported by WeCollabify, one of our trusted allied partners. Over the years, I've learned that not all business relationships are created equal. Some companies simply want to sell you their products and services. There's nothing wrong with that. Every firm needs vendors. But the most valuable relationships often go much deeper. A trusted partner understands where you're headed. They understand the challenges you face. They understand and invest in your success because they know that their success is tied to yours. That's how we think about our allied partners. That's also why we're proud to work with WeCollabify. They help architecture and engineering firms expand their capacity by integrating skilled design, BIM, and technical professionals directly into their teams. Not as a separate resource to manage, but as part of the way the firm operates day to day. Their goal isn't simply to fill a position, it's to help firm owners create the capacity they need to serve clients well, support their teams, and make better long-term decisions about growth. If you're evaluating the people and organizations you rely on to support your firm, I encourage you to learn why WeCollabify is one of our trusted allied partners. Visit WeCollabify.com/EntreArchitect to learn more. That's WeCollabify.com/EntreArchitect. Please visit our sponsors today and thank them. Thank them for supporting you, the EntreArchitect community. As architects, we understand something many people don't. Environment matters. Buildings shape our behavior. Space influences experience. Context changes outcomes. We know this because we design environments that affect how people live and work and learn and heal and connect. But here's the question. If environment shapes the people who use our buildings, what environment is shaping you? Think about that for a moment. Who are you spending time with? What conversations are you having? What ideas are you exposing yourself to? What assumptions are being challenged? Because if your environment never changes, your thinking probably won't either. Growth requires friction. Growth requires new ideas. Growth requires exposure to people who see the world differently than you do. And none of that happens if you stay in the same room all the time. So here's my challenge for you. Get out of the room. Not because you need a vacation, and I know you probably do. Not because you need another continuing education credit, because you need perspective. Attend a conference, visit another firm, join a business group, take another architect to lunch, attend a local AIA event, participate in a workshop, join a community. Do something that intentionally places you in an environment where your assumptions can be challenged, because that's where growth happens. Not when you're comfortable, not when you're certain, when you're exposed to something new. The future of your firm may be waiting on the other side of a conversation you haven't had yet. So thanks for spending time with me today as I've traveled from Taliesin to San Diego and connected with architects from across the country. I've been reminded once again that none of us are meant to build our businesses alone. The greatest opportunities in my own career have almost always come from relationships, through conversations, through community, through this community, through getting out of the room. If you've enjoyed this solo session, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email, connect with me on social media, or share this episode with someone who can benefit from the conversation that we just had. And if you're looking for a community of architects committed to helping one another grow, I'd love to invite you to join us inside the EntreArchitect Network. Visit EntreArchitect.com to learn more. Next week, I'll return to our regular interview format with another great conversation with a leader helping shape the future of our profession. I'll leave you with this, though. Frank Lloyd Wright didn't build Taliesin to isolate himself from the world. He built it as a place where people would gather, learn, challenge one another, and grow together. And more than a century later, that lesson may be more important than ever. The future of your firm may not be in your studio. It may be waiting for you somewhere outside the room. So until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your business, and take care of each other. If you liked this episode of EntreArchitect Podcast, please share a link to this episode with a friend. Either just click the share button or highlight the URL and send the link to this episode with a friend, because that's how EntreArchitect has grown to serve thousands more architects just like you throughout the 10 plus years of EntreArchitect. That's how we've grown, architect to architect. So I would love for you to share this episode and all the episodes with one friend every week. We'd love that. And thank you to our sponsors for this episode. We don't have an episode if there's no sponsors. So thank you to our sponsors. Links to those sponsors, which you should go visit and click, And all the resources that we discussed today for this specific episode, they are all available at EntreArchitect.com/podcast. Every episode that we've recorded is there, EntreArchitect.com/podcast. Go click the links to the sponsors and say hello. EntreArchitect is a member of the Gable Media Podcast Network. You should go visit that at gablemedia.com. That is the next evolution of interactive media and resources for the AEC community. You can now earn continuing education credits for listening to select episodes of this podcast, EntreArchitect Podcast. Yes, AIA CEUs for listening to a podcast. It's there, and many other podcasts are there as well, and you can listen to all of them and get credit. Learn more about our program, Gable Members Program, at the gablemedia.com/members website. That's GABL media.com/members. And if you are a small firm architect, join us today at EntreArchitect Network. That is the worldwide organization for small firm entrepreneur architects. If you own your own architecture firm, you are an entrepreneur architect. You are an EntreArchitect. With weekly live group business coaching, we have business coaching there, monthly live business training with AIA CEUs, 2 a month, so 24 AIA credits per year, including 12 of those are HSWs. We have them in the membership. Business resources, all the resources you need to run your business, special session webinars, mastermind groups, and a thriving community of small firm architects just like you. Hundreds of architects are there waiting for you to join. So we provide the support and encouragement you need to succeed as a small firm architect. I know that you haven't been trained as a business person when you launched your firm. That's what we do. Come learn how to run a business at EntreArchitect Network. And today you can go join right now for free for 30 days at this link, EntreArchitect.com/30 days will give you free 30 days for membership. Go check it out at EntreArchitect.com/30 days, and I will see you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of EntreArchitect Podcast. My name is Mark R. LePage, and I want you to remember 3 words: love, learn, share. Have a great day.
Something is changing in how we build, and it's not just the tools.
It's what we value, what we keep, what we hand to machines, and what we hold on to.
I'm Deb Johnston.
And I'm Reg Prentice. This is To Build is Human, a podcast for the people navigating what it means to build in a moment when everything around them is changing.
We need teams of people who are focused on making stuff better in our industry that are software people. And we need to hire those people in and give them roles where either they don't have billability expectations or give us billability expectations and let us solve problems for our clients.
Everyone can benefit in all areas of continuous improvement. Every role that I've held has taught me something new, not just in tech, but about people, about process, about purpose.
As architect, you go into these applications, they have to be empowering. They have to just open the door and be used as a catalyst to propel for betterment and not be a hindrance. So I can't open up any one of these systems or tools that bring a form of automation and bind myself to it. So even with the world of AI and machine learning now, I keep stressing that the human factor can never, ever go away.
Find us wherever you listen.